Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the good, the bad, and the awesome for Datacron set 24, Whispers of Wealth, which is kind of like, hey, they might be rich. It's kind of a weird concept. But we're going to be going through stats, alignment abilities, faction level 6, and character level 9. We do only have 3 factions for this one, which is a little bit different. We've been having 4 faction sets for a while. But let's jump into it, starting with stats. So the stats for this one are decent. There's nothing really blowing me away, and it's nearly identical to set 20. I only know that because I rotate, my presentations based on the color Datacron. So the last time we had a purple one, it was all the same stats, except they had crit chance instead of potency. So these are all the values from like the level 7 and 8 part of it. So you're going to get less on the level 4 and 5 or 1 and 2. I think health and protection are the best just because they're applicable to anybody, and the amounts are pretty good, 20 to 30%. Health being the best, protection being a runner-up there. As far as offensive stats, I think the armor pen is by far the best. Of course, that's only for characters to do physical damage and not special damage. Special damage, you're not getting anything. That would be resistance penetration. Offense is actually borderline bad because the numbers are low, like on a 1 to 2 level, it's like 1 to 5%. 10 to 20% is what we have. Tenacity is all right. Crit damage is decent for damage. And then potency, since it's high values, I put it in the good category. If it was low, I'd put it in the bad. I mean, there's nothing terrible. It's not like health steal or crit chance or accuracy or anything like that. If there's one I'm going to reroll the most, it's probably going to be potency and tenacity, honestly, because I'd want like either a damage or a bulkiness cron, but that's just me. Now for the level 3 alignment abilities, they're not fantastic for light side. The only one I heavily recommend is this one at start of the encounter. The weakest ally gains 20% Terminator for every light side ally. So that can affect the dark side character. If you have a mixed squad, 2 dark side, 3 light side, and the weakest character is a dark side, that dark side character will get 60% Terminator because of every light side ally. This one is quite strong. It's awesome. And these good ones, they're more or less just okay. This, if you do a special, you get evasion up, health steal up, and health up for 2 turns. Decent buffs. It's something. It's like, that's the one I'll be like, okay, it's acceptable if I can't get every single one. This turn meter one, the extra 15% offense and 20 speed for every light side ally defeated is okay in certain circumstances, but ultimately that is happening when you have allies dead. So I don't know, maybe Ray or something is the only one I can think of being actually like a decent value for that compared to like the speed. But having one, if it's a full light side team, having one character get like a bonus turn at the beginning is pretty strong. 25% chance for dispel is kind of whatever, and then the accuracy up, evasion down thing is kind of crap too. So those, not really going to recommend. And Dark Side actually got the best of the level 3 abilities this time. They finally have the 15% max health and protection cron. So this thing first ever appeared in set 9, and it was for both light side and dark side. It was like, oh my god, everyone was like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna be so thick and fat. But the past several times we've had an iteration of this, it's always been light side. So this is the first time in maybe a year and a half, 2 years or something that we've had it for dark side. So I'd say that's the default one you should go for. If you can only pick one, put that on everything. But that said, the crit chance, crit damage, and offense up for 2 turns whenever an ally, a dark side ally uses a basic, even outside their turn. So if you do 1 mass assist, everyone has all those buffs. That's fantastic as well. So I can't think of every permutation for it, but you're just gonna have to consider that who's gonna be valuable for. Imperial Troopers is kind of the classic where it's like, oh, that's really valuable, but they're just not in circulation as much. And Kyber 1. The rest of the abilities are bad, but it's 2 awesome ones, 3 bad. You get some crit chance for inflicting debuffs. If you gain tenacity, you have to get 10% protection, stacking for 2. That's nothing. That's terrible. And then whenever they evade an attack, they get offense up for 1 turn. What happens more often? You do a basic or you evade an attack. This is just so much less of everything. Like, it's just laughable, the difference. So there's 2 really good options. And moving on to the faction abilities, we have 1 light side faction that is unaligned force users. Of course, it's going to have a lot of spillover. Dark side might want to opt to use this, especially if they don't have, like, if they're not pirates or first order. Probably a lot of teams are going to want to use this, even if they're dark side. We got 1 awesome one, a couple good ones, a couple bad ones. So the one I think is, decent, it's good, is ability block is going to be on someone. If no one has ability block, you damage someone, they get ability block. That's not bad. That's not something I'd hate to have. And then you get free damage immunity for 1 turn, health steal up if you fall below 50% health. So it's just kind of like a fail safe to keep you from dying necessarily. But it's not a lock damage immunity, so it's not like amazing or anything. The bad ones, whenever enemies are damaged at the start of their turn, which is like dots or, Palpatine doing damage from shock, unaligned force user allies gain 2% turn meter. It's just too restrictive of a category. It's not much turn meter. If it was like Empire or something, then we're talking. Because they have all the dots usually, but I just don't see this being a big thing for any UFUs. I looked at all the UFUs and thought, but that's not really good. And then the temporary offense, that's for mercenaries. Oh, I know what I did there. So the last time we had a purple set, it had this ability for mercenaries. This is the ability, and it's just sub out mercenary for UFU there. But yeah, it's bad, so don't worry about it. The good one, the one you should be aiming for, a bunch of them, has a few prongs to it. Whenever an UFU crits an enemy, dispel debuffs on themselves. So that's like an R2's Zeta. That's really good. And gain 5% turn meter. Whenever a UFU uses a special against an enemy with at least 3 debuffs, reduce their max health by 5%. Whenever an UFU uses a special and they have at least 3 buffs, they gain 5% max health. So it's max health gain, max health reduction, turn meter, and cleansing. It's just pretty good all around. It's like a very good utility thing. It's not like going to be dominating everything, but it's just a very valuable level 6. Now for First Order, we're going to have exactly one really strong team for First Order this set. The one I'd say is good, and there's an argument for it here and there. Whenever a First Order ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. So with Springler and Kylo, which is really the only dominant First Order team, this is going to be used because Darkside Raycron's going away. If you have Darkside Ray on your team, though, and you kill an enemy, everyone is losing turn meter, so it's kind of like defaulting to Springler or Kylo getting a bonus turn. Not actually, but it's like he's the one with the most turn meter. He might actually take 2 turns in a row if you do this, because if everyone gets their turn meter removed and he takes a bonus turn, but then everyone has 0 turn meter, then his turn meter is going to start filling up again. He might get 2. So there might be an argument for that. I don't know, but I still wouldn't call it the awesome one. This stun, he gets speed up offense up. It's like, okay, I wouldn't recommend it in any circumstance. Preventing revives is terrible as well, just because Springler or Kylo prevents revives on his turn anyway. So it's like, just, I don't know. It's not necessary. The ones I'd really recommend, and the wordy one typically you want to go with all the time, but there's an argument for this second one. So the wordy one, if all allies are First Order, they gain damage immunity for 2 turns at the start of the battle. It's dispellable. But whenever First Order allies critically hit, doesn't happen too often. First Order allies gain 10% crit damage, max 50. And whenever First Order ally attacks their turn, they gain 10% offense until the end of the encounter. So you're going to stack up to 50% extra crit damage and 50% offense on top of like any mastery gains or offense up or anything like that. And damage immunity to start for 2 turns. So the next one, whenever First Order ally has full health and protection, they deal 100% more damage on their turn. So this would make Springler Kylo hit very, very hard. So that it's just kind of a balancing act. You need to be protected at the beginning, or do you want to hit really, really hard? Because that's the damage immunity is all that this one has over the second one. Because the offense and quick damage gains are not going to be match this in terms of actual damage output. So this bottom one might be the winner. And now we have Pirates. There's the only bad one I gave if there's like an AoE. Grant tenacity up for 2 turns to all allies. I don't know. I don't see that being that impactful. There's a bunch of good ones and one awesome one. Whenever pirate allies stagger or stun an enemy, they deal bonus damage equal to 35% of their max health. I see a lot of stagger in the kits. I think there might be some stuns. I'm not an expert on pirates at this point, but it's decent. This one works for everyone except Hondo. If you have this, we see it all the time. If you have more than half turn meter, your damage received is reduced by 75%. Just very strong in any case. That's a really good defensive cron. And then there's when they inflict a debuff, it's 10% max health damage. Which, there seems to be a decent amount of debuffs on that team, so might be valuable. The absolute best one is, of course, the big wordy one. every set they come up with or reuse this really wordy datacron for a faction, and typically it's the best. At the start of the battle, if all allies are pirates, they all gain 3 stacks of profit. Whenever pirate allies have 50 or more combined stacks of profit, which will be at the beginning. Attacker allies stealth for 1 turn when they're critically hit, so that's nice. It's kind of like whack-a-mole, you hide them. Your damage dealers. Whenever a pirate tank uses an ability, even a basic, not a special ability, any ability, all pirate allies are called to assist. That's awesome. That's the best one. So whenever Vayne takes his turn, everyone's going to assist. That's really, really good. And it doesn't say on their turn. I have a suspicion it's on their turn. But then I don't know. If it is outside their turn, you could call Vayne to assist. Or if he assists as part of a mass swarm or something, all their allies do an assist. It's kind of crazy. Then whenever a pirate support or healer is inflicted with a debuff, all pirate allies recover 5% health and protection. That's nice. You know, it's a little something. Whenever a pirate ally consumes a stack of profit, all allies gain 5% defense, max health, max protection, and offense, up to 150% for the rest of the encounter. That's going to happen, you know, fairly often. You're going to get some stat boosts. Like, the stats are going to be climbing up. So this is just, I think, the easy call if you can get it. You only really need 1, unless Las Canal is really good, then you need 2. But yeah, that one's going to be the one to go for with pirates. And now we're moving on to the level 9 abilities, starting with the Ufu faction. That's what's nice about having only 3 factions. I get through this stuff faster. So we got a couple good ones, and the best ones I have on the next slide. So Sir Junda, whenever she uses a basic, all other allies gain 25% turn meter. That's just quite nice. There's not exactly a ton of assists on the team, but you know, if she takes her turn, if you need turn meter, that's going to be a nice boost. And arguably the best one you can put on the Malicos team, as long as you're not using like the stick Redcron from the old set. Ben Solo. Whenever he deals damage, remove 25% turn meter from that enemy. That's really good. That's similar to what Merrick has right now. So his AoE is going to remove turn meter. It's not irresistible. It's going to be a potency check, and you don't usually mod Ben for potency. And Ray doesn't add any potency, so I don't know how much that's going to be doing, and it's not going to be the one you go with for Ray ultimately. So that's why I just put it in good. When Visas Mar attacks at a turn, they recover health and protection, and all their allies with retribution assists. It's just kind of whatever. You're not really getting retribution on teams with Visas much, so it's kind of crap. Ahsoka Fulcrum, whenever she gains retribution, she gains a bunch of stats, but it doesn't matter because that happens so infrequently. Don't even bother. Don't worry about Ahsoka Fulcrum's level 9. It's crap. The best one is Rey. It's very simple. I think this might be a recycled one from set 1 or something. First time each turn, Rey gains ultimate charge, which she just gets ult charge for people taking turns. So that basically means every turn she gets an additional 6% ult charge. So it's like every turn she gets 9%. Like everyone takes their turn, she's at ultimate basically. It's insane. So that's gonna be crazy good. However, it's not like no downsides to it. There are gonna be a lot more ults and a lot less whirlwinds and a lot less of the protection up. So it's going to be a very defensive thing, not really an offensive thing. Because if you can control her inspiration, a bunch of ults, unless you have tons of turn meter gain or mastery gain on her side, they're not doing too much. It's just protective. That said, it still is really good. That's a clear choice to go for with Rey. And Commander Luke Skywalker, this is one I'd previously make as awesome, but CLS needs a lot more help than this to be viable. Like the Rollicron makes him really viable with all the extra attacks. This is one where if you do a special, it'll inflict armor shred if you do damage to an enemy, and then if you basic someone with armor shred, you expose them, and then he gets protection up. So it's good. It is quite strong for him, and I'll love it on my small account. But you know, it's not like making him beat a certain team that he can't normally beat, or like not making him beat an S tier non-Galactic Legend or something like that, or a Galactic Legend. I don't think this would make him beat a Galactic Legend. It might help him in a lower league beat like JML or something, but I don't know. It's good though. Next up, we have First Order, a few good ones and a couple of amazing ones on the other side. Kylo Ren, I think this is the best out of these options because he's going to assist all the time doing more damage. That's just going to be extra ult charge for Supreme Leader Kylo. But overall, his basic doesn't do too much. Hux, If another ally assists during his turn, he and that ally gain 25% turn meter limit once per turn. So I don't know if that's like if you do his mass assist thing, if everyone gets 25% turn meter, or the limit is like one character per turn. I think it might go to everybody, and it's decent. It'll really help you get some initiative, but then you're going to be losing max health protection if you're on a Supreme Black Kylo team. If you are in a position where you can be running a Hux lead, maybe first order TIE Pilot Omicron and like Chromium or lower, that might be pretty good. Crew, he's going to dispel all debuffs on himself at the start of his turn and then recover health for each debuff dispelled that way. That's pretty good. It just means he's not going to be debuffed, so it's like, that's all right, and, you know, some healing. First order Stormtrooper, it's the revive, he gets a bonus turn, but it's like, who cares? If you're dead, just stay down. Like, not worth getting. Executioner, he gets extra max health and protection for his relics. Still not usable, so don't worry about Executioner. The best one is First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is good too, but on a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren team, especially on offense, you're going to want Special Forces TIE Pilot. So whenever Slicker has 100 or more stacks of Siphon, he ignores Stealth and Taunt during his turn. For every stack of Siphon he has, First Order allies gain 10% defense and Health Steal until the end of the encounter. So defense, that's nice, but realistically, if you get to that 100, it's 50% defense. That's nothing like these crons we've had. And Health Steal is kind of like a whatever stat. Ignoring Stealth is probably the most valuable thing, but he has to get to 100 stacks of Siphon, so it's kind of like, yeah. Special Forces TIE Pilot. This is a recycled one. It was very powerful when it was out before, but we had a different level 6, and I'll show you what that level 6 was previously. Someone calls him Alphabet. I'll call him Alphabet. Alphabet has 100% potency. Whenever allied Slicker is active, Alphabet can't be defeated. Whenever First Order allies have advantage, they ignore taunts. So that's nice. It's already part of, you know, the Slicker one that you're already getting. Whenever Slicker's the leader and Alphabet's damage while they have advantage, stun that ally. They call him Alphabet because his abbreviation is FOSFTP, so it's just a lot of levers. Stun the enemy for one turn and can't be resisted, which is awesome. Whenever an enemy is stunned, Alphabet abilities gain 5% bonus damage up to 200%. He and Slicker basically gain 10% max health till the end of the encounter, and Slicker gains 5% ult charge. So it's really just a lot of extra ult charge. Whenever a stunned enemy is defeated, they can't be revived. So in addition to Slicker perma-killing on his turns, the ally in the leader slot gains a bonus turn. So Slicker getting a bonus turn if a stunned enemy dies. And he can stun himself. It doesn't have to meet this condition. But this is going to happen all the time. Like, stuns, Slicker has a stun, Crew has a stun, Irresistible stun. So it's going to happen a lot. And they recover 100% health protection. So that's really good. Why it's so good on offense is because the AI doesn't know your Alphabet can't die. So you can just kill anything with it, and it's just a lot of bonuses there. So you could just go Slicker and Alphabet and really just tear people up. On defense, people know what's going on. They'll go for Slicker before Alphabet or Special Forces, whatever. But it's quite good. Last time we had it, though, we did have, I think, a better level 6. So this was in set 15 we had this before. So 9 sets previous to this. This was the level 6 we had. Whenever a First Order ally scores a critical hit, the leader gains 10% offense, which was so much better. That's a lot of offense. Till the end of the encounter, if the leader scores a critical hit, they gain an additional 10% offense. The First Order allies recover health and protection. Whenever the leader uses an ability to remove 1% turn meter from all other First Order allies, that's enough to boost up health and protection for the Slicker team, but not actually really affect you. It's just 1% turn meter. Whenever a First Order ally loses turn meter, they gain 10% crit damage for 2 turns. Whenever a First Order ally attacks a stunned ally, they deal 10% max health damage to that enemy. And whenever the leader is not damaged during an enemy's turn, if there are no allies with damage immunity, a random First Order ally gains damage immunity for 1 turn. So that was a very strong level 6 we had previously that we don't have anymore. But still, I think this is going to be a great offensive cheese, specifically where you can take out almost anything, as long as they don't go for Supreme Leader Kylo first. And the last of the standard level 9 abilities, I'm a little underwhelmed by the pirate ones, I'll just say, but here's what we got. So Sana Starros, I say is good. It could be amazing if she was a decent character and you could put her on a team and it wasn't like sacrificed. But if she damages an enemy with a special, which she does have an AoE, fear them for 1 turn, can't be resisted. So she gets an AoE fear, basically. She gets some protection up in turn meter. 1, I don't care about her turns, really, otherwise. And then 2, the fear isn't enough to make her that valuable on a team to just throw her in there. So, kind of lackluster. Quiggle's reflecting 20% damage back. That's okay, I guess. I mean, that's like a Moscanata team at best. Nests. What's bad about it is when she stuns an enemy. That's just her first special, which is a single target. She's gonna get 10% crit damage and 5 speed. If it was like when she damages an enemy, that's another thing. But it's when she's stunned, so it's kind of meh. Other good ones, Brutus, whenever another ally recovers protection, which should happen quite frequently, especially if you have that good level 6, Brutus gains foresight for 1 turn. So that's actually a strong candidate to be used on that Hondo team. Captain Silva, whenever he removes turn meter from an enemy, which I don't think it counts stagger. I think if you hit them with a stagger, I don't think this will be triggered. So it must just be a second special. He recovers 20% health protection, resets the cooldown of a random pirate ally. So that's good. It's not blowing me away, but it's good. The best one we have, I don't know if it makes Hondo go on that GL Hondo team. Probably not. It's not going to defeat the Lightning Raid clause, because the Lightning Raid just says you can't have any light side allies. It's not just all dark side. But when Hondo uses the basic, he gains 9 stacks of ransom, protection up 100%, stacking, and reduces cooldowns by 1. So when he does his captive, he needs to get to 10 stacks of ransom to not flee when they die. So he's basically going to get that immediately, almost as soon as he uses the basic. Reducing his cooldowns, you're going to get more ransom, you're going to get more assists. He calls people to assist with a second special, and then he does the basic too. When you get to that 50 stacks of ransom, it's really hard to hit him. He starts hitting really hard. That we might see him on Hondo teams. If he works out well, if he's even just a decent option on the GL Hondo team to begin with, I think this is the way to go for that team, but it just depends. I won't have Hondo for a while, but these are the options I would keep in mind. And the last section for the standard datacrons I want to go over is reroll priorities. What's top priority, what's bottom? So I'm going to put alignment as number 1 for this, because there's clear best choices for each. So make sure you're getting those. Maybe before you even level up Datacron all the way, make sure you're getting at least one of those 3 really good abilities, 2 dark side options, 1 light side option, before you start leveling up. Then I think you should make sure you get your good level 9s first, which is only a few. There's not a ton of ones you want to get, but you pick up your Ray, your First Order Special Forces Die Pilot, your Alphabet one. And then you go back, get the good faction, level 3. Those are all pretty close together. Normally, I have stats a pretty high priority, but there's no terrible stat in this set. So I think once you get all the abilities you want, you just go work on stats. If you don't need any more level 9s, if you have all the ones you want, those perfect, everything is set up on those few that you got to level 9. You really need the level 9 ability. Then you focus on the alignment and the faction, and then stats. And then if you have all the faction ones you want, you just want some generic dark side, light side, because there's not too many factions available that you're going to need. So if you don't have pirates, first order, or Ufus on a team, you only care about the alignment and stats, and that's what you work on there. And now for the focus datacrons, and they're a little bit disappointing. So what is disappointing about this set of focus datacrons, they really went away from like a few supercharged stats, which is what I really like about them, just as a generic statcron. However, there's none that I gave a completely bad rating to, but I have this one in red as if it's bad, and I'm calling it the statcron because this is the Jawa one. It's the only one that is going to be a level 9 as far as we can see for now. And while it does seem to be, interesting, the Jawa mechanics, I just don't see it being competitive with Jawas. Lower leagues aren't worth it to build up Jawas with. And even though you can use them at low gear, you still want like relic Jawas for this to be effective. Or maybe, I don't know, gear 12 or something. And so I just think people use it for the stats. But we got, I'll read the... Well, I guess I'll read this to start. At the start of the battle, Jawa always gain 100% bonus protection until the end of the encounter. All allies are inflicted with provoked, or all enemies are inflicted with provoke for 2 turns. Can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever a Jawa ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, all Jawa allies gain foresight you're trying to make it really hard to kill them. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a thermal detonator, Jawa allies gain 10% defense and offense up to 300%. At the start of the turn, if a Jawa ally has 50% or less health, damage they receive is reduced by 75% until the end of the turn. Whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal expiring, which can't be evaded, Jawa allies recover 5% health protection, gain 5% turn meter, and the enemies inflicted with an additional thermal detonator. So I don't know if this is exactly the Shutagawa modifier. I can't remember what that does, but this is a lot to be packed in for Jawas, but they're just that bad, and that's why they need that much help. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be some cheese you can run with them on offense. There might be. For Kyber 1, the board is just so packed, I just don't see this like making them like relevant. And then for, like I said, for low leagues, you just don't really go for them. And I just feel like there'll be something that beats them easily enough on defense. I don't know exactly the counters to Jawas. I just never see them. But the character abilities aren't that great. Whenever Chief Nebek calls allies to assist, recover 10% health and protection for each ally that assists. Jawas recover 5% health and protection. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a thermal, there's a 50% chance to do an additional thermal for 2 turns. So it's going to be a lot of thermals. And then for Engineer, at the start of each of Engineer's turns, they reset their cooldowns and lose 5% health for each turn each ability was reduced. The Jawa Engineer can't be defeated this way, so I think he might have a detonate, but I don't know. The stats are good: 80% offense, 50% armor pen, 70% health, and 50% crit avoidance. This is the most concentrated stat cron you'll find. And since it is just level 9, it's going to be a lot cheaper. So I think everyone should pick this one up and take it to level 8 at least, but not really worry about it for use on its own. I could be wrong though, just hedging my bets by saying that. Next up, we have Iden Versio. So we've had some of these abilities before. So starting with Iden, at the start of the encounter, she taunts, which is locked until she's defeated. Whenever a non-droid Imperial Trooper ally is defeated, she taunts. So basically, she's taunting. So you're gonna have to hit her. And normally, you can't kill her until you kill everyone else, unless there's like perma kills, which would really shut this down hard. Perma kills. But then we have the Range Trooper ability. It's like Barris and the Chief Sherpa. There's at least one other active ally, revolve all of their defeated allies, then recover all their health and protection, getting full turn meter and 100% offense till the end of the battle. So this is I see as a good offensive tool if you can pick and choose who you're fighting. Get them to kill Range Trooper, and then you have all the extra offense, and then you're golden. They're stuck hitting Iden, but it's kind of hard to force them to do that. That's why I don't have it amazing. I'm not gonna say it's bad though. Stormtrooper, I would even, I don't know. He reflects 50% of the damage on him back as true damage, which is fine. It's good. I just kind of want people to be able to kill Range Trooper. I don't know. Then whenever Imperial Trooper allies are revived, they gain 25% turn meter. So they're going to revive whenever they die if Iden's alive. Protection over time for 2 turns, reduce your cooldowns by 1. All allies are going to recover health and protection, dispel all buffs on all enemies, and inflict buff immunity for 1 turn. So this is going to be just a handy tool if there's a buff heavy team. They get a kill on you. It's like, too bad, you lost all your buffs, and you're going to get buff immunity. So it's almost like you're getting punished for killing someone on this team. I think on defense it's not going to be viable because you really just need like revive prevention. And that's a more common thing nowadays. Whenever dark side allies use a special ability, they gain evasion up, health steal up, and health steal for 2 turns. So we already have that kind of as a variant in this set. I think it's light side up. And then the stats. So 80% health, that's the highlight. Everything else, it's so spread out. There's 6 stats. Crit chance 45%. Tenacity 40%. Crit damage 30%. Potency 20%. Even 65%. And this is all according to Swigga.gg. But I think that's data mined from the game. Normally, I can go in the game and view the Focus Datacron directly because there's a new marquee event and there's going to be a Focus Datacron for that new marquee. But now it's a ship, so I can't see. There's no 5th Focus Datacron that I can see. But yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be an offensive tool. In a lower league, actually, this will be really annoying to deal with. Like, I wouldn't want to deal with this with my GoTanks account. But yeah, it's worth getting. I'd say it's good. And while I'd say get Iden's, even if you're not going to use Iden, I think the 80% health is enough to merit like wanting that. Raddus's stats are even more spread out. There are 7 different stats. 50% armor pen, 25% health steal, 25% crit chance, 55% tenacity, 20% potency, 50% health, 75% crit damage. What is going on? Just concentrate on a few stats. That's why we liked him. That's why we liked him. We could use it with anything. But anyway, it's a decent enough like set of abilities where I can see Raddus being pretty useful, even in Kyber 1 potentially. So at the start of the encounter, if Admiral Raddus is the ally, and all other allies are Rogue One, inflict defense down and expose for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever he uses basic, he calls another random Rogue One ally to assist. He can't be defeated while K2SO is active. So this is what I think is funny. You can't kill Jin until Raddus is dead. Now you can't kill Raddus until K2's dead. So you have to kill K2SO, then you have to kill Raddus, then you have to kill Jin. So that's going to be an amazing offensive tool because AI is too dumb to know they can't kill Jin. They'll go for her. Now they'll be too dumb to know they can't kill Raddus. The advantage for them is K2 does taunt, so they will be forced to hit him somewhat, but he loses his taunt pretty easily. But this ability is what I like the most. Whenever K2SO attacks out of turn, he counters a lot. He deals 150% bonus damage. I don't know what that means. If it's just 150% more than he normally would do, that's not much. But if it's like based on his health or something, that could be more, but I don't know. This is the kicker. Inflicts offense down and healing immunity for 1 turn on all enemies. That's going to be like constant. They're always going to have offense down healing immunity. That's amazing. That's really good. And whenever he loses taunt, he removes 50% turn meter from all allies and inflicts blind for 2 turns. Can't be evaded or resisted. That's amazing. That's so good. They have a lot of anti-Empire synergy. I don't know. This might be good for Inquisitors, even with their juiced up Datacrons. I don't know. But really great offensive tool. And then Jin, whenever she crits an enemy, 10% crit damage, defense penetration, and offense up to 200% until the end of the battle. So that's going to be a lot stacking up for her over time. That's really, really good. At the start of each Rogue One ally's turn, if they have not taken damage since their last turn, they get crit chance up and offense up. So there's just going to be a lot of like extra damage going around, especially for Jin. And then if they attack out of turn, they have a 100% crit chance, which is, I guess, okay. So this is actually useful, but it's mainly useful for purpose. I think you want it with Raddus. The light side ability isn't exceptional for other teams. There's only really one Rogue One team. So this is kind of potentially a better version of what they were trying to do with the Darth Vader Cron. Darth Vader Cron is just a stat Cron. Now, it's not really good for the purpose. Even though they're not forcing you to have a character ability and picking your whole team, it's a core 3, so it's going to be great. And this is going to be a great 3v3 team, too, because you'll just run these 3, and it's good. I really like this one. It's definitely good. I wouldn't say it's awesome, but we'll have to see the application, but very, very nice. Last but not least, we have the Trench Team Cron. And I am calling it the potentially awesome. I'm not going to come out and say outright it's awesome, but I could see it being pretty formidable. Because you're combining a lot of good abilities on a team that could make it coherent. I'm worried I'm wrong about this, though. So, Trench to start. Non-separatist droid allies get tactical supremacy for 2 turns. So that's his normal buff. He does hand that out, typically. It's like some extra potent. It's a few things. It's not amazing. Whenever separatist allies gain a stack of heal over time, they gain 5% crit chance, up to 200%. Whenever they gain a stack of protection over time, they get 5% defense, up to 200%. And you get those buffs fairly frequently, especially with Watt in there. Whenever Admiral Trent uses his basic ability, call all other allies with Riposte to assist. So we don't have a level 6 giving us Riposte. That's mainly just going to be Dooku. Whenever Trent shocks an enemy, he gains protection up to 25% for 1 turn. So here's where I start to see the potential. When an enemy is stunned, Dooku takes a bonus turn. So as long as he has Riposte, he's going to assist anytime Trench takes a turn. Either whether he calls a mass assist or uses basic. So he's going to take a assist. He might stun. He might stun him and get a bonus turn. And Django, whenever another ally uses an ability, he assists, dealing 50% more damage. So he's going to be assisting no matter what. And then if Dooku's assisting Trench, you got Dooku and Django assisting. Dooku might take a bonus turn. When he takes a bonus turn, he might stun again. And that you're going to get assists from Django. You could potentially get another turn with Count Dooku. And then all the while, Newt is getting 50% turn meter when other allies use a special. You really have a chance to run circles around people. So kind of, I don't know if it's going to be any kind of GL killer. I don't think it'll ever touch like JMK. Or like, well, I don't know. I like Lord Vader. I guess I can't outright write it off. I think it has a potential to be really good. And then at the end of the turn, Separatist allies gain defense, penetration up, and offense up for 1 turn. So basically, after the first turn, they're unless it gets dispelled, they're always going to have defense, penetration up, and offense up. So that's a lot of damage potential. And other extra damage boosts: offense 20%, crit damage 35%, armor pen 50%. Really spread out there, but 55% crit avoid, not bad. I really like that. 30% defense, meh, whatever. 20% potency, you kidding me? Come on. Health 55% is good. It's really spread out stats, so this is, I mean, it's like good. Like if I had that on a normal Datacron, I'd be like, wow, this is a great Datacron. But it's just, nothing's jumping out at you. I think this is another one that it might just be fit for purpose to just run with this team. This seems like a decent setup to really want to use these crons with their team. This one I could see, the Iden one I could see people using it more just for all the health. But they really seem like you might want to actually run these teams. For players that can only like afford like 1 or 2, I'd say go for Jawas because cheaper, you get a stat one. A lot of people don't gear up their trench, so I'd say, I mean, either the Raddus or the Iden. I think Raddus is better than Iden, but it just depends what you actually have. I think more people are going to have Iden, so like if you're a beginner player, maybe Jawas and Iden. Not a bad way to go, but they're expensive. Don't pay attention to Ray here. That's just from an old set. That's the dark side Ray Cron was working on. But yeah, the Focus Datacrons, it's not like the second set with Darkseid Ray and the Hodocron. It's not like the most recent set where we had all these amazing Statcrons and like the Wampacron and the Rolocron that were just broadly applicable. But it's okay. It's fine. It's not oppressive in any way. It's not going to be like just, dominant, like you don't know what to do. Just some handy offensive tools, potentially. All right, and that's going to be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching set 24, the good, the bad, and the awesome. Appreciate it, guys. See you later.